Hi again. Step 2 today, we're talking about schedules. So again, journal, write, take notes, think about this. You can watch it over and over so you don't have to feel like you have to take all the notes at the same time. I'm going to keep this concise, but this is a really content heavy day to think about just because it's might change too. So you're going to want to probably like revisit. But anyway, for now, since you're here and you've already explored your kids' preferences and you're getting to know what they like to do, I want you to think about schedules in terms of there's kind of 3 different ways that I think about it. Do you want to have no schedule at all? And that is completely great. Awesome. There's no right or wrong way to do a schedule right now, right? So one way you could do it is no schedule at all. You just want to wake up when you wake up and eat when you're hungry and go outside if it's nice or get work done if you can or whatever. Totally fine. So you can do no schedule at all, right? The second option is to have a loose schedule but open to flexibility. So maybe you have a work call that you have to get done at a certain time, or maybe you have a deadline, or maybe your kids have a Zoom call or appointment with their teacher or something at a certain time, or whatever you have. If you have certain things that you have to get done at a certain time, you might want to make some sort of loose schedule and not be 100% stuck to it. So there's still a lot of flexibility, but you have certain things that you have to get done. Okay. The third, and obviously there's a range even within these 3 options, there's quite a range. You're going to find your own flow. But the third option is if you and or your children benefit greatly from structure and routine, you're going to want to keep a structure and a routine that you can keep pretty consistent, at least if you want to do like a Monday through Friday schedule and then let your weekends be more flexible, or if you want to do a 7-day-a-week thing. And I'll show you examples. I'll create documents to go along with this too, just so you have examples in like written form of what this might look like. But this would be a more routine schedule. So, wake up at this time, eat breakfast around this time, do reading, do math, do some sort of schoolwork if you want to pencil that in, depending on the age of your kid. And this can work even for babies. This actually all reminds me of my postpartum stages when I would be reading a lot about what kind of parent to a newborn do you want to be? Do you want to schedule your feedings? Do you want to feed your kid every 2 or 3 hours no matter what? Do you want to do their nap times? Like, when are you going to schedule their nap times and their sleep times? And are they going to, or do you do more flexible schedule of like, they eat, they play, they sleep, they eat, they play, they sleep, so there's a lot of variety. You might even want to do your own journal entry just on if you can remember back to your postpartum stage. So you might be going through that right now if you have a baby. You might have a teenager and you haven't thought about that in a long time, but you might want to think back to that and go, what felt right to me then? Did I give myself the opportunity at that point to create my own schedule? Or did I kind of listen to whatever society was saying was the right thing to do at that point? Or you read a book and you felt like you were supposed to do that, right? Part of this course is there's no supposed to, there's no should, but I am trying to help you find your rhythm and what works best for your family so that you can function in your most natural state during all of this. Okay, so just think through schedules. Do you want it no schedule at all, completely loose? Do you want somewhat of a schedule but a lot of flexibility? Or do you want a pretty strict schedule so that you can maintain consistency and routine? And you have to think about what works for you and what works for your kids. Right now, mainly I want the focus a little bit to be on what works for your kids. And like I said, with the preferences, I know that it can feel a little frustrating if you're like, but I have a million things to get done. The more you focus on your kids right now, the more you'll see towards the other steps, how this all fits in like a puzzle and it makes sense. So just trust me for now. If you can make your schedule based on what you think your kids will benefit from. And again, go in with an open mind. Just because they're used to a strict schedule at school does not mean that that is what they benefit from. Okay? So if you explore their preferences in step 1, were you surprised or were you not? Did you notice anything that you're like, wow, I'll give you an example. My kids, we always wake up and eat breakfast right away. After all of this has been going on, they're not hungry in the morning. They're not hungry first thing when they wake up. So they go like half hour, sometimes longer, and they just play happily. And then they independently are like, I'm hungry. Can we have breakfast now? That works way better for me than if I were to try to force them to choose. Like when we had to get out the door before this stay-at-home order, it's like, what do you want for breakfast? We have to eat now. We have to get ready. We have to, eat, brush our teeth, get clothes on, get out the door. It's so much more of a peaceful morning when I can follow their lead. Okay, so step 2, schedules. I'll see you in step 3.